Hey guys, SlySonic7 back again, and today we're going to be starting a brand new video game. This is a game I've actually been wanting to play for a long time. This is part of a 3-game set, but the game we're playing is highlighted in the middle. The game is called Journey. So Journey is a very interesting game because it was actually developed by a studio called Santa Monica Studios, which is best known for things like making the God of War series, PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, Twisted Metal, very, very violent games. And they really took a completely different turn on this one into a more artistic sense with the game Journey. So Journey is a very unique game. We'll talk about it as we keep playing, but for a few different reasons. The one that I want to highlight right now is that there is no spoken word in the entire game. No indication, no English, no nothing. Just everything you can see and everything you can hear. But none of it will be English, none of it will be words that you can audibly discern. So it's a really interesting game that kind of gives you a very different approach to how you consider a classic game. So I'm ready to start. So here we go. So guys, here we are at the title screen, and as you can see, it's a very just blank, desolate space. There's nothing going on. There's just a couple waving flags, and I actually misspoke. So it's partially developed by Santa Monica Studios, like I talked about, which makes God of War and those other games. It's also made by That Game Company, which is a game company that really focuses on like artistic expression in games, and I really think it's the mix of these two, which first will give it some notoriety, but also really give it that interesting artistic flavor to it. And the thing we're going to be seeing with Journey is that this is probably one of the most symbolic games I've ever played, and it's a very great understanding as to what you can accomplish without really ever speaking to the gamer, but more just showing and making them think and making them feel. So I think contrary to a lot of my other Let's Plays where I've been walking through, I've been reacting to levels like in Sonic 06 or things like that. In this one, what I really want to do is just tell you guys what I think the game means to me as we go level by level, because it really is a bit by bit kind of story, in my opinion. So I'm really excited, and as we can see, we press the start button. Let's begin a new journey. So my first thought when I see this is just how beautiful the sand looks. It's just glistening off of what looks like almost a lake. And you can see this, it's spreading out for miles with the dunes, and you see just the little glittering, almost gold, just at the very surface of this. It's just so perfectly done. It really makes you feel like this is a special kind of place, a unique place you've never seen, only when the sun hits it the right way. And they start really interesting here with what looks like a lot of, kind of despair, a lot of what honestly look like tombstones, right? They're kind of sticking out of the sand, and all of a sudden you have a shooting star stretching across the vast desert, edging closer and closer, and here we are. This is our character. We are never told their name. They have no gender. I think technically speaking, it's like a woman, but the game never indicates. No, I don't want to be doing six axis. No, thank you. Don't care. I'd rather be looking at the right stick anyways. Game's like, got it. No 6-axis. Okay. I don't care. Can I start? Here we go. So, first few things, I really like the design of the character. Okay, I get it, game. So the game tries to give you a little bit of, here's how you play, things like that. First thought here is I really, really love the look of this character. I think if you look around, everything is brown. I mean, for plain and simple. It's the sand, it's everything you can see here. Even the horizon, different shade of brown, the sky is brown, things like that. And you can even argue the clouds are just really light brown. Here's your character in stark contrast looking red. And I think it's a really interesting look. And the first thing I would really want to point out here is just how fantastic the graphics are here, that you see sand shooting out of the ground. you see the idea of how I'm really making an actual path in the sand, which of course for game rendering, will disappear after a little bit. But even if you see here, a few of my loops are actually still being captured, things like that. It's really, really great, especially considering this game came out, I want to say in either late 2012 or early 2013. So just really a great, attention to detail in this game. So this is so the idea of this game is pretty simple. It's never really explained, but they, kind of use the fun invisible walls and things like that to kind of guide you, is that your idea is that you want to head to the sun. Like, you want to head that direction. So we're going to get to the top of here, and you're going to see what our very clear objective is. So we climb up, climb up, climb up. Excuse me there, guys. And here we go. We see a mountaintop with a star at the very top, as our clear journey is ahead. So I can sit on this as long as I want, or I can try to just walk forward, which will just start, progressing to the next part. So, few thoughts here is that how I really want to talk through these episodes is that, to me, when I think about the game of Journey, and I'm going to kind of spoil it a little bit, but I really am saying it now to make you guys think. And when I say this stuff, I really want you guys to comment and tell me what this means to you. Does it really speak to you guys in the same way? What is that? Also, you're going to see a really cool thing here where if you get on a little hill, you kind of slide on the sand. It's really nice like that, just a little sand dune animation. So what I want to say is that this game, to me, is a metaphor for life. And what I mean by that is that this game is going to take on a different stage of life as we keep going. And I think as you'll see, it'll paint a pretty logical picture as to how you really feel as you go through your, life. So, as all life is, as you can see, there's surroundings of death. And you think about this in the scheme of a journey, right? That we are all punching towards some goal, which is that mountain in the very back, you can see. Many have tried and failed before us. And from that, new life is born to start anew and continue the path and really kind of, the passing of the torch. So think of all of these tombstones here as really, those who came before us. And out of all of that comes us, the new part. So I'm going to introduce you guys a little bit to how this game works here. So it's really interesting. I'm not actually pressing any buttons. I'm just holding the left joystick here. It's going to be a very minimal game as far as my involvement. The only thing we want to do is try to collect these. So you see the square here? It's going to absorb onto me, and it's going to build out a little bit of a scarf. Now, the scarf is interesting to me because you'll see little bits of cloth will interact with it and kind of put a symbol on it. So if I hold the X button, I can float. And you see that my scarf bits are, that symbol is being absorbed. So as I use just a little bit of it, it all slowly fades away. So I'm going to hold on to this right now and keep walking. But to continue along the idea of what we're talking about here is that I'm starting off at the very beginning of my journey, or as you could think, the very beginning of my life. I know nothing, I'm learning everything as I go. There's no one who's directly telling me how to interpret the world. It's a lot of my own interpretation of how the situation is. All I know is that there is a new environment around me, and I'm trying to find my own way to react to it. And I think the game does a really great way of kind of the first time, for full disclosure, I've played through this game probably 5 or 6 times. I haven't actually played through it fully in probably 2 years now. So it's pretty cool for me to get to replay this now. But I'm going to also, I think, contrary to a lot of my other Let's Plays, really try to run around, try to see what's around here, and try to kind of get the full environment for what it's worth. Because to me, I feel like this entire game is just so beautifully crafted that I kind of want to admire all of it. So the idea of how you're here in a sand, everything is surrounding you is bland, and all of a sudden you come across what looks like just a deserted building here. And you come across, and I'm going to hold the circle button here, which will activate these beacons. You can see one just lit up here. And through that, I start to get a bit of a drawing where you can see a lot of people who look like me dead on the ground, and then those tombstones that we see next to them. So basically the idea of how all of those things we see outside are actually tombstones. These are people who came before us and have fallen. And I think it's a really great way to kind of just frame that. And not only are where you're going is it difficult, because as you can see, there are clearly people who tried and failed, but it can be dangerous. You know, there can be some real risk to what we're doing. And I think it's a really simple way of just evoking that idea in you that this isn't just a normal thing, and that this won't be as tame and quiet as everything here is making it seem, right? So the game also does a really interesting way of invisible walls. So instead of just telling me I can't go there, which makes me just hit something, the wind's going to be way too strong and just push me back. It's a really interesting way just to kind of naturally set the boundaries, because as you would think, like, I'm just not strong enough to go there. So I'm going to slide down here. And we're going to go over here. I don't think there's anything right here, is there? Nope, just those. Great. So another way, by the way, of how to get those cloth pieces around you. So, here, 1 second. Okay. So as we see, there's another one of those squares over here. So, as you're going to kind of guess, the more that we can get, you know, the more we can build up this scarf, the more we can interact and really kind of move along here. So I'm going to fill this up really quick, and I'm going to walk over slowly. And the game also makes this that, like, yeah, they can make it that I could jump across much faster, but it wouldn't feel like the beginning of life if you really think about it. I'm not running, I'm crawling. I'm learning how to walk right now. I'm learning how to move around. And slowly but surely, I'm finding new sources of strength. In this example, growing out my scarf, which help me to move faster. You know, I'm learning to walk faster than I did yesterday to eventually run, things like that. And I think in a lot of ways, just like how life starts out, this is a very carefree thing. I'm not immediately faced with any strife. I'm not immediately faced with any complications or decisions. I'm just progressing. And I'm kind of, you know, just learning how the world is, but I'm not really being put in any kind of a bad situation or, you know, having to be in any kind of place where I'm really learning more about myself or, you know, having to overcome adversity. I saw a square somewhere here. There it is. No. Okay, I just don't want to fall. And by that, a nice part also is that I could, for instance, use up my entire scarf, but the second you get a brand new one, your entire scarf gets refilled. So I found 3. So here's one thing. So whenever you're on these little parts, so there are 4 banners waving around me in a circle right here. I'm going to hold down the circle button. It's going to activate all of these, which will make something special happen. In this case, we'll open up this door. Other pieces of scarf will come out. And this, to me, is a really interesting thing the game does, which is the whole scarf mechanic. So I'm going to hold this, they're all going to lift me here, and they're going to basically launch me towards the next part here. And this will be kind of the...
Hey guys, sorry about the abrupt end to that video. What ended up happening was that the recorder ended up splitting down and kind of cut off with about a minute left in the video. So just to talk you guys through it really quickly. What ended up happening was that we finish off the first level here. The squares that are in front of us are just signals that say we got the 3 scarf pieces for the level, so it's always a great fact check. To finish off the level, we get teleported to kind of like this mystic plane where we end up meeting a very tall, white-cloaked elder, if you will, who basically shows us the next path of our journey that will be an ascent. So guys, this has been SlySonic7. I would love to get your guys' thoughts on the video and just what you guys thought of it. You know, to me, again, the first level here is about the beginning of life, taking your first steps, really feeling things out. But I would love to get your guys' perspective. What did it remind you of? Is it something completely different? Please comment, let me know. And I'm really, really looking forward to this Let's Play, but it will be even better if we can just keep getting your guys' comments from it. So guys, this has been SlySonic7, and I'll see you guys in the next part of our journey.